Okay, here we are with the RCBS Grand loader. 12 gauge shotgun shell loader. We have two tubes up here. This tube holds the shot. Right now it's loaded with 8 shot, and this one loads the powder. This tube contains the powder. Right now this tube has red dot shotgun shell powder. Here up in this top tray we have primers. And we have over 100 primers in the primer dispenser tray. Down below we have an 8-station RCBS loader. The first station, which is right here, first station sizes the hull and punches out the primer. The primer goes down this tube down into a container here, which holds all of the used primers. The second stage seats the primer and resizes the hull again, especially down towards the brass at the bottom. From our primer tray, it slides down this tube and then comes down here to this tray, and then this slide pushes the primer into the tray beneath the hull, and you might be able to see the primer right below the hull that's about ready to be reset. The station just to the right is going to dispense the powder. Directly up this tube goes up to our powder tube, and the powder is dispensed on every pull into this stage. The next stage is the wad. If we put the wad in here, as we pull this handle here down, the wad is then put into the hull. The next stage is where the shot gets put on top of the wad. If we go up this tube here, this tube goes directly up to our shot stored up here in this big tube. The shot gets dispensed down through this tube and into the hull. The last 2 stations are actually for sizing and crimping the top of the hull and the shell itself. You can see this stage here, this stage has shot in it, and it will have the first crimp. When it moves over to this stage, you'll see the hull is slightly crimped, and then finally the last stage, the hull is once again crimped and evened off on the edges. As I pull the handle, the station rotates from station to station. The hull that's right here in the back will roll down the tray, and this is where the finished hulls reside, and then I put them into my boxes. So let's see some operation on how the RCBS loader works. Okay, off to the right we have our bin that contains our wads. And then again, as each hull gets finished, it rolls down the tray onto the table, and I can even move them into the bucket if need be. So let's see how our RCBS works. So now I've made 2 shells. Again, I place it empty here. I place a wad into the wad dispenser. Sometimes you can check to make sure a primer has dropped. Place a wad, I place an empty hull. Place a wad, place an empty hull. wad in place. So you can see that the RCBS Grand does a great job. And I have made 3, 6, 9 shells in a very short time.